Hello to people, today we have this new Duke 200 BS6 model with us. So there are a lot more of changes and updations in this BS6 model. I'll be telling you all that, and today I'll be checking out the mileage for 1 liter of petrol also, and I'll be riding inside the city or this type of highway, and I'll be telling you how this bike feels compared to the BS4 model. This bike belongs to my friend name called Asha, and thanks bro for the bike. So let's start with the what are the changes in this BS6 model. First we will be talking about this exhaust note. Before, the exhaust pipe was coming to the side next to the engine and it was connecting to the exhaust. Now the exhaust pipe is coming like this, you can see from the middle, and it's connecting from down. So to reduce the heat, the company have made the changes like this, because before you used to feel lot more of heat coming from the engine and coming from the exhaust too. So there was a disadvantage in this bike, that was mainly the heating problem. So now the heating has been rectified from this bike looks like 50% of Duke 390 looks in the rear side, and in the front it looks like a Duke 250. So in the front you will be getting this dual LED DRLs, and middle you will be getting the halogen lights. This is like a same Duke 250, and there are no any changes in this instrument cluster. It is same like a old model, and one changes is that in this you will be seeing the ABS light. If it's on means you can see the light here, and there is no any button to on and off like moto mode which we have in Duke 250. Coming to the exhaust sound, so this is how the exhaust sounds. Now we are not getting that auto sound which the people call. I really like the old exhaust sound which was like a raw sound or some bass sound, but in this BS6 Duke 200 model, the exhaust sound is too low and too soft. It's not like a raw sound, it's like too soft. So that is one changes, and seat height has been slightly increased. So for shorter people, they may face some problems in the height, but when they get used to the bike, they'll feel comfortable. There are no any problems in that. And coming to the seat part, before that seat was too small. Now the seat is a bit large, so that while cornering or while traveling long rides and all, it will be very useful. The seat is also too soft, and pillion seat is also very good. So for holding also, there is a lot more of comfortability. You can just, pillion riders can easily hold this, or to tie any sort of luggage also it will be very useful. You will get the split release frame, and you will be getting this bolt in the sub frame. So to reduce the weight, this has been given. So and the weight has been increased like 10 kg. Before it was like 140.2, now it's like 150.3 kgs. So the weight has been increased. So obviously the top speed will be decreased. The company have claimed the top speed goes around like 133 or 134. We'll check about that later. And coming to the fuel tank capacity, before it was like 10.2 liters, now it's like 13.5 liters. That is actually a good thing. We don't need to stop often for in the fuel stations to fill the fuel. 13.5 liters is actually good. Like 1 liter of petrol with me, and this bike is completely fueled out, and there are no any sort of fuel in this. So this bike is completely dry. So I'll be pouring this 1 liter of petrol in this bike, and I'll be checking out setting the trip meter to 0. I'll be riding inside the city for some kilometers. Where it stops, we'll get to know the exact mileage of this bike. And I don't usually suggest this method, because doing this method like once or twice it's fine, but doing it regularly may harm the fuel pump. Don't test this method like regularly. Once or twice it's fine. So now I'll be filling this fuel. So now I'll completely fill this bike with 1 liter of petrol. Set the trip meter to 0. First we'll go to mode, and then trip 1 will set to 0. So trip 1 is set to 0. Handle is pretty good, and handlebar have been raised, and it's like a upright position. So while during the cornering and during the rides and all, it will be very comfortable to ride. And the seat is also very comfortable. It's like managed according to the handlebar, and it will be very comfortable to ride also. So my height is like 5'11", so this bike is very comfortable. I can touch my feet to the ground fully. So from 5'6" to 6'5" below, it will be very comfortable. But below that, the bike will not be very comfortable. But when you used to get this bike, you will feel very comfortable. Initial acceleration of this bike, and in the front I'll be checking out the braking also, how it feels. I guess this is not perfect. We'll be checking out here. The acceleration is so smooth, and I don't feel any sort of power decrease in this BS6 model. It's perfectly maintained. It's like 25 ps at 10,000 rpm, and it's like before it was like torque, it was like 19.5 nm torque at 8,000 rpm. Now it's like 19.2 nm at 8,000 rpm. There's like a minute difference, but I don't feel any sort of power decrease. It's really absolutely very good while riding. Well, acceleration is really very smooth. It's perfectly managed. Okay, so it's perfectly managed, and I don't feel any sort of power drop also. It's very smooth. So the bike feels so smooth, and there is some sort of error in the speedometer. Actually, my friend was telling that if we fill like 1 liter of petrol also, it's showing like it's like 4 liters. So there is some error in the speedometer. So this error came after the first service. So maybe there is some sort of loose connection in the wiring. We need to check about that. So that's all. For riding in highway or for riding in the city, it's like peaceful. We don't find like any sort of false neutral anything while shifting gears. The gear shifting is really very good, and it's like butter smooth. The gear shifting, I really love the gear shifting, and clutch management is also really good. Clutch management is really very smooth according to the gear shifting. I mean, there's off clutch, it's really like butter smooth, and there is no any sort of false neutral. I'll not be checking the top speed now. I'll be checking later, and I'll be doing the drag race between the Duke 200 BS4 and the BS6 model to check about the initial accelerations and speed, so we'll get to know the exact. Here we have this Duke 200 BS6 model. You can see, and this is the Duke 200 BS4 model. You can see that exhaust pipe, it's coming like from the side. This is how it looks, BS6, and this is the Duke 200 BS4, that is. So front it looks like this, and BS6 it looks like this. The seat is so small in this, you can see. The seat is very large, and to hold also it's very comfortable. Tank capacity is 13.5 liters, and in this the tank capacity is 10.2 liters. To hold also it's very small. Back tail light you can see, and in this you can see it's like 390. Mirrors are same. You can see the handlebar is bit raised in this, and in this you can see the handlebar is very low. So the bike weighs around like 140.2 kg. This bike weighs around like 150.3 kgs. So that is all the difference. The bike is completely stopped now. I was not able to record some footages because my GoPro battery was very low. I didn't bring my extra battery too, so the bike was completely low, and the GoPro was switched off. I don't know when the GoPro was switched off also. So the bike is completely stopped now. I feel like some sort of jerk for like 2 kilometers behind, and the bike was stopped completely here. So the mileage gave around like so there is some wrong with the trip meter, so that is what it's showing for now. We need to check that probably next time in the show. So the mileage gave around like 36 km per liter. Actually that's a good mileage for 200cc bikes. In BS4 the mileage was around like 32 max. It was not going above that. In highway we used to get around like 35 max in the highway in the BS6 model. Probably you will be getting around like 40 in the highway if you are riding in the like around within 90. So I was riding in the highway or the city, I was riding around like within 60 only. That is like economy mode in this bike. While riding the bike in economy mode only, we'll get to know the exact mileage. So we got the mileage around like 36 km per liter. That is actually a good mileage. We are having like extra fuel, like 1 liter of petrol. We'll be filling this bike with 1 liter of fuel again, and we'll be going to our home. So that's it for the video, and this bike will be very comfortable for all the starters. If you're looking for a budget, and you can go for the Duke 125. If you're looking for some mid-range bikes, you can go for this Duke 200. It's probably a good bike. So probably a good bike. So that's it for the day. See you all in the next vlog. Until then, bye.